You know what's crazy, man, is they said he had 15 kids.
Yeah, he had
What?
he had a bunch of kids. That's true. He had like at least 12. I remember.
They said 15 on the news. I said, what the fuck?
So I want to discuss Boston some kidney news. So remember, I don't know if I sent you the paper. The SGLT2 inhibitors, empagliflozin, and it wasn't empagliflozin, but it was another SGLT2 inhibitor that was tested. They're shown now to reduce chronic kidney disease progression among non-diabetics in chronic kidney disease stages 3 and 4, around that area. So that's news for us. Because before, remember, we were thinking about empagliflozin, and I was wondering, like, is it kidney protective for non-diabetics? It seems to be so. So that's a new paper. And the second thing I wanted to mention is that it's very interesting. I found out that in kidney failure, kidney failure produces dyslipidemia, high cholesterol. And when you get a renal replacement and you replace your kidney, everything else normalizes except for LDL cholesterol and ApoB protein count. ApoB are a protein that are on these things. So basically, it's interesting. Now, the thing is, though, statins don't actually extend life unless you're on chronic kidney disease stage 5. If you're on stages 4 and 3, they don't extend life. So there's some news I was coming across while reading this week. Now, on the big news, though, is DMX died. I know this is not usually what I talk about, but DMX died, and it shook me to the core. I've been watching DMX videos for the last 2 days.
Yeah, it's
He had a heart attack, right?
Bro, this guy, man, he was a legend. He didn't get the level of recognition he deserved. He was like a Tupac right after Tupac. He had beautiful lyrics, and he suffered so much with addiction, you know? His parents left him when he was a kid. He grew up on the streets. And he was like what do they call it in New York? The stick-up guy. He was a stick-up guy. He used to go and stick people up with guns to rob them. And that's how he survived throughout his childhood. And he was a rapper. And he used to stick people up with dogs too. That's why I love dogs so much. He used to have a dog, and he would stick people up with a dog. Like, the dog will attack you unless you give me your money. Sorry, something happened to my computer. Anyway, this guy, so he was, I don't know what just happened. Cancel. So yeah, he was a really awesome guy, bro. And then he developed like a cocaine addiction. And what I noticed, though, I saw an interview of his on Noriega's podcast a couple of weeks ago. I don't watch rap stuff that much, but I saw an interview of his that was 2 years old a couple of weeks ago before he died. And I noticed he had a similar thing that Lenny has now, which is the kind of bloat that comes from heart failure. You know, the kind of watery retention. He had that. And he couldn't talk properly, bro. It was so sad. And then 2 years later, he died, I think, of heart failure, but I'm not sure. Now, that's the lesson.
You know what's crazy, man, is they said he had 15 kids.
Yeah, he had he had a bunch of kids. That's true. He had like at least 12, I remember.
They said 15 on the news. I said, what the fuck?
Bro, a lot of these rappers have like 20 kids from 20 women. I don't know how they handle that stuff. Like Boozy has a ton of kids. Tons of kids. And it's interesting to think that it's interesting, right? People who pay the most attention to their lives have kids later. And then people who don't give a crap have tons of kids. So the genetic pool is probably worsening over time a little bit. Anyway, so after that, I wanted to mention the thyroid. So what's been happening to you, Boston, with your heart rate and the thyroid?
It's coming down a little bit. I think dude, that Carvides did fucking wonders with my blood pressure. You remember I told you I was stacking the ACE and the ARB for a while?
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing that, but it wasn't lowering my blood pressure. I was still like 150/80. I said, I'm taking an ACE at the highest dose with an ARB at the highest dose. I was doing valsartan with ramipril at the highest dose of both, and I wasn't getting any benefits. So anyways, I dropped the valsartan, and now I'm just doing ramipril 5 mg morning and night with a 6.25 mg Cardivas, which is Carvedal. Morning and night, and dude, my blood pressure is like 130/70, which is great for me.
Oh, that's fantastic news.
It's never that low.
I didn't know you maxed out valsartan at 160 and
ramipril 10 morning and night.
Wow, so
it didn't lower me though. Like the combination didn't help.
That means that a lot of your blood pressure is directed from your hypothalamus pituitary adrenal stress axis. A lot of it's coming from stress, that means.
The Cardivas dropped it to 20 points. And like, that's not even a high dose. 6.25 twice a day.
Carvedilol is an unusual... I think it has an alpha adrenaline agonist element. It has some unusual pharmacology. It may be useful for you. A lot of people respond differently to different beta
blockers. I feel good on it. You know who told me about it was my chiropractor. he says he uses that for blood pressure. So I looked into it, and you only need a little low dose, so it worked, man. So I'm only on Ramipril and Cardivis now, which to me is I'm happy with that.
Personally, like I told you, if I was me, I would always want a beta blocker because I know that stress signaling, even just the constriction, but the stress signaling will hit my kidney harder.
I feel better. I just feel better on a better.
Yeah, on a beta blocker. Hey, Eric, do you take a beta blocker? You should, bro. You're big. You should take a beta blocker.
Is benazepril a beta blocker?
No, that's you're talking about an ACE inhibitor.
Oh, whatever that is. I've been taking that since I was 17. Yeah.
No way. Okay, great. Thank God. Whoa, how did you know about that at 17?
What?
How do you know about it at 17?
Because as soon as my mom found my gear the first day, she dragged me to the doctor. And so we found out my blood pressure was high, so I got on it. And I mean, I've been on it since. And yeah, I've never had any blood pressure problems, thank God, because I've always been on it.
That's an ACE inhibitor, Leo?
It's lisinopril, right?
Benazepril. It
sounds like an ACE inhibitor.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it sounds like, I don't know it specifically, but dude, you're so lucky. I had to
I know.
I had like a 180 over something blood pressure at 24 or 23. I would go to doctors. They would be like, no, you're too young. We're not giving you shit. So I eventually started ordering from All-Day Chemist. That's the only way I save my kidneys. Otherwise, I don't know where Boston is.
I never understood that because it's like you're too young, but so what? You want me to have my blood pressure high?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Exactly. But you might want to look into a beta blocker also because the beta blockers. So when you're on androgens, you get like a vigilant, hyper-vigilant state mentally, like a hyper-aggressive state, and basically you get more adrenaline. The beta blockers block the receptors of adrenaline, so that you feel less adrenaline slightly. I like to do it to preserve
Is that a good thing? Because I'm always like chill. Like I'm just like.
Oh, are you? Okay, you may be someone that doesn't.
I need more adrenaline, if anything.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Some people are like that. They're blessed.
What's your resting heart rate, Eric?
Well, I just had a coffee, so I don't want to take it right now.
No, but normally, what's it like?
It's like 80-ish, 85.
That's pretty high.
That's high, bro. Yeah, you don't. So this is the thing, right? Think about it this way. Your heart is a muscle, right? Like when bodybuilders go work out their biceps, like for example, think about arm wrestlers. Arm wrestlers always work out their biceps, right? Eventually, every arm wrestler damages his bicep. The more you work a muscle over time, the more it can get potentially damaged. So if your resting heart rate, what mine used to be was like 85, 90 before when I didn't know what I was doing. And that means my heart's beating way more times than another person's. If you get your heart a bit stronger, it can beat less. But sometimes, even if it's stronger, the adrenaline signaling will make it beat more.